Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Earlywine, and we're going to discuss a couple of businessmen from Florida's past.
Yes.
I really like talking about all the past businesses.
Yes, and the people that lived here. You think about people in the past, and you don't put faces and names to it, and they just seem like a blur.
Right.
But when you start singling them out and being like, this guy did this and this guy did this, and look at his face, really brings it all to life, doesn't it?
It really does. And the best thing you ever introduced me to is Find a Grave.
Oh, yeah, findagrave.com.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a website or it's an app on your phone. But, yeah, love that.
It's funny. I wonder why I wish there was a picture on every grave.
Yes.
Why is that there are some have pictures and some don't?
Because it's all volunteer effort on if there's pictures. So there's people that go around to actually take photos of the stone and then obituaries, photos of the people's lives and stuff, and they put it all on there.
Oh, really?
If you look at the bottom of whoever you're looking up, it'll say who did that work. And most of the time in Clay County, it's from a woman that goes by the Lady in Black.
I noticed that.
That's who's put the work in.
Do you know who the Lady in Black is?
I have been told her name, but I cannot think of it right now.
I guess she just did the Lady in Black because
I think she wants to be anonymous.
Anonymous?
I think if she truly wanted credit for it, she would have put her own name. So she's probably just doing it for, she enjoys doing it, I bet. And she likes history, obviously. And she's had to have put in tons of hours. Bless your heart, whoever you are.
Exactly, because
thank you.
It's just
thank you.
It's exhausting when we did that one episode on the cemeteries, and I just drove around. I was exhausted. There's nothing like finding old, family plots.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It makes you wonder how many houses and stuff are buried on.
Oh, like cemeteries under houses?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A real poltergeist moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know what's down there.
Ooh. You really don't.
I don't want to know.
Until you start digging.
Yeah.
Well, when we dug for our pool, I didn't find nothing.
Oh.
There was nothing in there. I was really hoping for, the pot of gold at the end of the...
Yeah, buried treasure.
There was no treasure.
Or at least, some one item that would be worth money that somebody lost a long time ago.
There was an interesting thing. I did find something interesting because we have remodeled our house and torn down walls and gutted and did everything. And we did find something that was interesting.
What was
it? Our house was built built in the 30s or 40s. I don't know what it is. And so Jim and I bought this house. Okay? And this house was not supposed to be our forever home. We were eventually going to build a house. But we ended up now.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
35 years later.
Girl. Same thing here.
They just keep gutting and adding on and all stuff. Well, anyway, my husband, Jim Earlywine, was raised in Robinson. His street was South Jackson. Okay? The people that built our home was an insurance salesman, Hartung's. Built our home. We were tearing down an inside wall. Jim was to take down the old plaster wall and put drywall up. And in the walls, he found a letter. And it was to Mrs. Hartung on 416 Fair Avenue, Flora, Illinois, from a lady who lived 2 doors down from Jim on South Jackson, Robinson.
What are the odds?
I'm like, okay.
That's weird. Did he know her?
No, he didn't know, But I'm just thinking, I'm like, remember that. It's like, okay, so here we are. Jim's from South Jackson, and we're buying this house. And we have weird things like that happen in our relationship. And I just got them like, oh, my gosh, Jim, it's from an old lady that lives on South Jackson. He's like, oh, that's 2 doors down from Mom and Dad, from the house I was raised in from South Jackson to Mrs. Hartung in my walls. How did he even get there? Unless it fell through from the upstairs or something. But But I have another interesting story with Jim and I's relationship. Have you ever seen the movie The Firm?
Yeah.
With
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise? Okay. So this is so everybody watch this movie. So my maiden name is Hemphill. You don't just come across that name a lot. Jim, when our last name is Earlywine. There is a scene toward the end of the movie on The Firm, and they're looking for the bad guy named Elvis Hemphill. Remember, the character's name was Elvis Hemphill. I'm like, okay, that's really, really kind of a weird thing. So they're looking for him, and they are at an old truck stop. And they're flipping through, like, you remember the receipts from credit cards, like you do the run the thing, and you have to go through the papers to find the names. Not kidding.
It said Early Wine?
It said Early Wine, Hemphill, back to back in that movie. Yeah, they're flipping. They're like Smith, Jones, la da 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 da, Early Wine, Hemphill. We found him, and we're like, did we round that? And sure enough, back to back, it says Early Wine, Hemphill. Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that the weirdest thing ever?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we own the movie, and it's just like that, yeah, like two weird names. Yeah. The Firm was a really good movie. Yeah. And how weird is that, though? I just find it fascinating. Weird stuff like that. That's why I tell my husband, we're destined to be together, so just sit down. You ain't going nowhere.
We're destined to be together. It's in the Firm.
It's in the Firm. We found a letter. You're not going anywhere. Put the lawyer's number down. You're fine.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so let's start our show off like normal. We start off with an old ad or something. Stacey's got this really cool catalog we've been looking at.
I do. So, a customer of mine, a lady that goes to our church, Miss Vicki Campbell, she brought, because I'm like, okay, let's start looking for magazines. If you got old magazines, we'll take them or whatever. But she brought me this, she was in getting her hair done, and she was like, I've got this old catalog. It's from Alden's, Aldens, Spring and Summer 1960. And I'm thinking, okay, an old catalog. And I started flipping through it. I'm like, this is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's full of stuff to talk about.
I mean, these hats. I mean, I could just go on for days.
Great.
It is great. So I'm like thinking, okay, well, instead of an old magazine ad, let's just start thumbing through some old catalogs. Here's the front cover of this. 1960. Ta-da! Look how pretty she is. 1960.
Beautiful.
My favorite thing is the umbrella. And look at her. I mean, it's like it's not raining, but I feel like she's going to burst out into singing in the rain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just look at her. She looks like a movie star.
She does.
I mean, seriously, these old models just absolutely
gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I mean, I just loved it. I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. You could literally buy everything. I mean, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. I mean, $20 dresses and, 1970. Alden's was in Chicago.
Oh, department store in Chicago.
Yeah, Alden's department store. I don't know.
What are we looking at today?
Well, I picked something kind of interesting because I'm going to be heading down to Florida.
Okay.
And I like to travel. And I do, and like most of the time in these ads, I'm like, oh my God, I love that dress. I'd wear that. I love that hat. I love those shoes. Yeah. This is one thing, well, with the exception of the girdles that we've talked about and the bustiers that we did. Luggage. I thank God every day that luggage comes on wheels now.
Yes.
Did you ever travel when you had to carry it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Show this high fashion luggage. Look at this greatness.
Oh.
Look at this.
I have, okay, so some of those little cases, especially, like I have one identical to that blue one that's on the right side of the screen. The little ones, they're like the makeup case with the mirror. Well, I have a little obsession with those, and I have a collection of like 4 or 5 of those little things.
Do you really?
Yes.
See, I bought like 3 or 4. I started buying luggage. I don't know. I was at an auction one time, and I'm like, oh, luggage. I'll buy luggage. I don't know. I got into a little bit. I got them like upstairs in the upstairs spare bedroom and stuff. And then I've got some luggage because you never know. We might need it for a depot show or a nostalgia show or whatever. But I love this high fashion luggage, molded carousel fiberglass reinforced.
Wow.
And it's literally $29.95.
Wow.
I see, and like that top blue and the white one with like the ruffles coming down.
Oh, yeah.
And just look how she perfectly packed her little nightgown.
Yeah.
Isn't this the greatest thing? So literally, this ostrich gain vinyl coverings, 3-piece set for $19.98. The bottom left-hand blue 3-piece tapered luggage set for $15.98. The pretty cool, like red, burgundy, and white, $16.98. The one above that, $21.98. And what's the luggage? Oh, and the top luggage, the big white set, $29.95. And I'm assuming all the little ones are like the little makeup cases.
Yeah. Yeah, those are adorable. And if they weren't so heavy, I would still carry that kind of suitcase, just because I think they're so much more stylish than the like current ones that are out there.
Yeah, they're.
But the new ones that have those spinning wheels and all that, you just can't beat that.
No, when you're going. When I was working. I educated for Paul Mitchell for about 10 years, and in and out of airports and this. I cannot fathom
Carrying that sucker.
Carrying that around. Because how are you carrying your 3 pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, in and out of. I'm all about the rollers, but.
Well, the ladies probably just carried the little one, and then they had
Well, there is a little picture off to the side. You see the little cartoon picture above, right underneath. It is a lady and a husband and a wife, and he's carried the big one, and she's got the little one. She's got her makeup case. I don't know. I just thought the luggage was really a cool ad.
Yeah. Cool luggage.
Cool luggage.
Very stylish.
Now we just want that cool luggage just sitting in a corner collecting dust that has to be. Just for pretties. And we're going to sit her right there because she matches our roses.
Yes. Yeah.
Alden's.
Yeah, cool.
Great place.
Okay.
I can't even imagine. I would love to go that. What department stores? Did you ever go to department stores in the city? Which ones do you love?
Well, my favorite one is Macy's on State in Chicago.
I'm going to have to agree with that, yes.
That, if you've never been there, you missed out.
Yeah.
It's still there. It's just, I don't feel like Chicago's as safe as it used to be. I haven't went in years, but we used to go once a year and Christmas shop there, and it is just gorgeous. Yeah. And they have this, at Christmas time, they have this big tree in the center that goes up like 7 stories or something inside of the whole. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was cool.
I do, because I'm a big Macy's fan anyway. I've always loved Macy's. I always have loved it. And but we were a friend of mine, Susan Donuth and I. We went to New York to go watch some Broadway shows. Just went for a weekend, and we went into Macy's in New York City.
Yeah,
I mean, life.
I've never been there, but I would like to go. Changing. When I think of Macy's in New York City, I think of obviously the Miracle on 34th Street, because the mother, she worked for Macy's as the parade organizer. Who played that? Maureen O'Hara?
I think Maureen O'Hara played that, yeah. But yeah, it's just, I mean, those big old department stores just, and we're losing, I feel like we're losing all that stuff, with Amazon and everything else. I don't know.
Yeah, they're all going to the wayside.
They are going to the wayside, because the reason why I bring that up, too, is because one of our men that we're going to be talking about today actually owned a jewelry store in Flora.
He did.
And, he was wonderful. His name was Charles Cunningham. And when we come back from commercial break, we'll have a conversation.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Lumber, doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas, you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are discussing a couple of entrepreneurs in Flora.
Yes.
And I'm going to start with Charles Cunningham. Charles Shields.
Cunningham.
Another fun name.
Yes, C.S. Cunningham. But, his whole name just sounds sort of important, doesn't it?
It absolutely
Charles
does.
Cunningham.
Charles Cunningham. Charles Shields Cunningham.
Yes.
I love, and I'm not for sure where I got some of these papers, but that's one reason. This is a reason why, because the writing and some of the history that I found, I think, is just so fun. So I'm just going to read a little bit of what it says here. Another one of Flora's young men who is making a business success in life is Mr. Charles S. Cunningham. Why is it that of hundreds of young people who are raised in our larger towns, so few really make a success? Surely an answer may be found. With equal school advantages, with the same surroundings and conditions, we see some rise to distinction and others sink into misery, want, and crime. We believe that the difference lies in the home and parental life and example. From homes where impure language is used, the children inevitably go out with not only the style of language that is a bar to their advancement in the society and business of their community, but worse still, with minds so filled with the bad that there is little room for the good to enter. As the twig is bent, the tree will incline or lean, is not truer than, as the thoughts of children are directed, so their lives and future success will be.
Wowzers.
What?
They're fancy writing.
What? As the twig will bend. It's almost like, what was the death? The Reaper of Death.
As the Reaper will come for her, or whatever that was on the other episode. The Reaper of Death.
I don't know. I don't even know where I got.
A little dramatic writing there.
You think?
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing. Oh my gosh. I know. As the homes where impure language is used. I love it. It's fantastic. Mr. Cunningham was fortunate in his childhood's home, and the lessons of frugality and care for the value of time and money are the foundation of the success in business which he has already attained.
He was very successful.
He was very successful. He was born on March 27th, 1870, in the city of Flora. So he was born right here. He is the son of J.M. Cunningham, one of our best-known citizens.
John Minor.
John Minor. There's another.
John Minor Cunningham was his father.
I love it. And where does it say where his dad was born? Sometimes it'll do that.
Yeah, his dad was also born here.
Born in Flora. Okay, sweet.
In 1844.
1844, so 10 years before, Flora was actually established, right? Cool.
Yeah.
He is the son of J.M. Cunningham, one of our best-known citizens. His boyhood was spent in his native city, and the foundation of his education was acquired in public schools. When about 19 years of age, he determined to fit himself for some business or profession. After looking and thinking and planning as to what would be the best for him to follow, he decided that the jewelry and watchmaker's business and trade was his choice. That was the best and most natural decision, for his father had been for many years thus engaged. Okay, let's show a picture of Charles Cunningham. I love this guy.
I think handsome.
He is very handsome. I don't know, he just looks so distinguished. Have you ever seen, okay, so you're a Hallmark person.
Yes, the Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yes.
There's an actor that looks like this guy.
Well, what was the Hallmark where, like, she goes and she's at this inn, she's redoing the inn.
Well, that could be like 50 of them. And there's a ghost.
And the ghost comes back.
Yes, and it's...
I know.
It looks like that guy. Oh,
I know it. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I just love that's Charles Shields Cunningham. And Charles is buried out in Elmwood Cemetery.
Yes, with his entire family. So, interesting side note about Charles Cunningham is that he had a sister named Nell. Nell Cunningham Bowman. She married Jerry Bowman, who built the big Victorian house and ran the hardware store.
Yeah.
So they lived in the house. She grew up to live in the house that is on the corner of Sycamore and East 6th in Flora. That's his sister, Nell. We're going to talk about her in a future episode.
Right. Yeah. We keep backing that house off.
Yeah, we're not covering the house yet. That one.
I'm ready for September to be over.
Yeah, because
that house.
After the cemetery tour, we'll go into.
So you're saying that this guy that I might be infatuated with walked the halls of that house.
Do we know where he lived?
No, it has no. I cannot find anywhere where he lived.
Okay,
but.
We'll have to maybe figure that out.
Yeah, it does, because a lot of times they'll say, but it's like we said, like it doesn't, like a lot of like the historic writings we have, they leave out a lot of dates. They really don't put addresses on stuff, because another Edwin Lewis, who we're going to talk about a little bit ago, the first printer, it's like got a picture of his home, but nowhere where it's at.
Yeah, the addresses they didn't feel were important to add, because I guess they just assumed everyone knew where that was. Right. But now it's been 100 years later and nobody knows where that was.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Let's continue on with him.
Yeah.
Mr. Cunningham could have entered his father's store and have gone to work at his table and thus acquired a knowledge of the business, but he chose a different method of procedure. Whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. So he left home and went to LaPorte, Indiana, and entered Parsons Horological School. Ty? Horological. HOROLOGICAL School. Yeah, horological.
I thought you were mispronouncing that. It's like, but you're not. I mean, that's how it's spelled, but I'm like, what? Should it have a T in it? Like, horological? I don't know.
It's the scientific study of time.
The scientific study of time?
What?
Oh, so like a watchmaker? That? Or was it more like...
I don't know, because that's where he ends up going, into the jewelry business.
Or is it like time, like being all like physics and the world? What kind of time, Ty?
He now?
To the study of time and art of making timepieces.
And the art of making timepieces.
That's why he's a watchmaker.
So he's a watchmaker.
How fun!
And
he now had the opportunity to learn the watchmaker's trade and all of its departments. He remained in school until he was graduated, after which he returned to Flora and entered the store of his father, able and qualified to render him valuable assistance. So, Dad owns a store in town.
Okay.
It doesn't really go into a lot of detail about what Dad did. So we've got this young man, and he is going to school in LaPorte, Indiana, to learn about horological school, and that's about making watches.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Nope.
That's what that was called?
I learned something today.
I hope you all learned something, too.
I bet we all did. I bet.
I
don't know very many people out there that might have known that little piece of trivia. But,
well, man, I hope it comes up on a trivia question someday.
I know. We like to go to trivia nights, and I hope that comes up sometime. We'll be like, got that.
You know, we need to do a trivia night.
Yeah, it's been a while since there's been one.
Yeah, when was the last one we did?
It was at the Elks. It was that 1920s theme. We all dressed up as gangsters.
Right.
We looked super cute. We had Tommy guns that were inflatable.
You know what? We may have to do one of those at the theater.
Yeah. We should.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be one of the questions. So it'll be like, okay, so if you watch By the Way with Beth and Stacey, you're going to answer all of our trivia questions. We're going to find out who our viewers are one way or another.
One way to weed them out.
Oh, gosh. Shoot. Okay, where am I?
Okay, I don't know.
Okay, so he's back in Flora, and he is... working for his dad. Does it say on there? Let's talk a little bit. Mention his wife.
His wife's name was Ava Lorena. Jackson Cunningham. She was a Jackson. Ava or Eva Lorena. She had a pretty name.
That is pretty.
And then his parents were John and Jane.
John and Jane.
John and Jane.
Now, does it say when they were? I know that's. Does it say anything about when they were married? If they were married or anything? Sometimes
no, because I don't have his complete obituary. I wish I did, but I do not. I have a article from the paper written about when he passed away, but it's not.
We're not ready for that
real
quite
obituary.
Yet. Huh. I was just wondering, and correct me if I'm wrong. He had 2 children.
He did. He had two sons. He had Rexford John Cunningham and Charles Jackson Cunningham. But I
love the way
Charles Jackson, he died young. So let's see. He died before Charles.
Okay.
So he didn't live out his adulthood.
Oh, that's so sad.
But Rexford did. Rexford, his one son lived to be, he lived until 1961.
Okay.
So he was 68 years old when he died. So he lived a long life. But then the other little boy, he only lived to be 34.
Okay.
And he died out in California.
Okay.
So he had went out to California and died out there. So I wonder.
Is the entire family buried in Elmwood?
Yes. The whole thing, the mom, the dad, this guy, his kids, the whole entire family is buried there. And they have one of those tall memorial stones.
That's right.
That says Cunningham. And then all of the family is buried around it with smaller stones.
It is literally just to the east of Sam White.
Okay. Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah. Like, when we're doing the cemetery tour and, like, we always have those skits, like, what's that one? It's like, is that the insurance guy that's buried in that one building? It's just, like, literally right in that area. Yeah, it is. It's just a little bit to the east of Sam White. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Cunninghams, they were very distinguished people.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. And you can tell they were important in the community because they had a big, tall stone. And back then that was kind of, that's where one of the things. So
they put the big stone with the family, and then like all the families buried around it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty. I don't know what it is about cemeteries. I just love them.
Yeah, well, you can learn a lot.
You can learn a lot about them. Yeah, we still have to get on our mission to fix Samuel White's.
Yes, we've got to do that.
I'm going to read just a little bit more, then we'll take a quick commercial break. I want to leave it with this little bit. So now he's back, and he's working for his father. If young men more generally could only realize the exceedingly great advantage which comes with training for special preparation for some good vocation, and know the fearful odds against which the ignorant and ill-prepared have to contend, there would be a wonderful change in their manner of spending their time and money. I want to know who writes this stuff.
Yeah, somebody.
None of the papers that I have any, who knows?
Yeah, then whoever was writing this about our citizens made every citizen look like the best citizen.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I kind of have a little hard time believing that every citizen was just rainbows and happiness and cheerfulness all the time. Like whatever this book is that we pull from... Like, they didn't ever mention any bad sides or,
Well, unless the Reaper of Death is coming.
Yeah.
And that will happen after our commercial break.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be. Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We are deep in discussing Mr. Cunningham of Flora, Illinois, who was a jeweler.
He was a jeweler.
Mm-hmm. But
Yes.
he did other things, too.
He did other things. He was very, he was a very intelligent man. Very, we showed a picture of him earlier. Very nice looking young man. Had a wife, a couple children, businessman in Flora.
But he was only a retail jeweler for 17 years.
Okay.
And then he retired from that business, and then he traveled for 12 years for the lock inspection department of the Yaletown Manufacturing Company. I don't know what the Yaletown Manufacturing Company is. I don't know. I've never even heard of that. But apparently that was a traveling job, lock inspection. So
Really?
he knew all about how little things worked, watches and all those little things. And I imagine that because he was lock inspection department, like he could inspect your locks, but I bet he also knew how to pick a lock.
Oh, I bet he. Well, yeah, he went to school for horological sciences.
I think he was probably a pretty smart guy.
I bet he was too.
But what was interesting is he served 2 terms as mayor in Flora. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, I.
Do we have a list of mayors in Flora?
I don't know.
I'm going to write that down.
He served 2 terms as the mayor. And,
so he must have been.
Yeah, and then he also was a director at the First National Bank in Flora. So the downtown bank, the one that was downtown on the corner, he was one of the directors on their board there. And he was also a director for the board of the Breeze Trenton Mining Company. So that's all the way over there at Breeze. Yeah. So he was on a board over there for a mining company. So he was a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, he does.
Yep. He died of a stroke. At age 63. And it says that he had been in failing health for several years, but death came suddenly while he was in his office. At least they didn't say the Reaper.
The Reaper of Death came when he was 63?
Yeah, but it says death came suddenly while he was in his office. So he must have just had a massive stroke.
I wonder if he was
at
the jewelry store when it happened, or where
I don't
he was
know.
at.
In his office. So.
Because I can't find where the jewelry store was at. I've got a picture here we'll show here in a little bit. But, I'm not for sure what the address of the jewelry store is.
Yeah, I'm not positive on the jewelry store either. But for some reason, I read something about businesses being in the old Vaughn Furniture Building back in the day.
Really?
That there was a bunch of different, I think that was the building. And that there was a jewelry store there. And I think it was the same building. But that, I'm not going to say that is for sure.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been able to confirm that. But
that would be, that would probably be an interesting building to dive into to see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's housed a lot of things over the years.
Exactly.
But do we have a picture of the jewelry store?
Yeah,
the inside?
Yeah, we do. Let me get my hair out of my earring. Go ahead and show the picture of the inside of the jewelry. And I love this because look at him.
Oh, yeah. He's
look at him there
to the
right
of your screen.
Leaning on
the little counter full of jewels. Man, to know what was in those. I mean, can you imagine having that inventory right now? I love jewelry.
I do too, but let me tell you a little bit about the inventory here. Okay, so on hand, a large stock of fine silver-plated ware, musical instruments and supplies, gold and silver watches, fine gold chains, brooches, rings, spectacles, splendid gift goods, and jewels notions. I'm not sure what that means. And we have repeatedly found his goods as fine and prices much lower than at the larger stores in St. Louis or Chicago. But I love that picture because look at him. He's just leaning over that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's such a good-looking man, and he's like leaning there, like, "Come look at my jewelry.
Come look at my."
I'd shop there. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I would.
Well, I definitely would shop there. But yeah, so that's a picture of the inside of his.
Yeah.
Do I have another picture, Ty? Of Eddie? Did I send 3 pictures with him? There's a closer look up.
Oh yeah, that one's a little clearer.
That's a little clearer. Yeah, look at him over there leaning up against it. But I mean, you're talking. There's portraits.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Big portraits.
There's portraits and paintings and jewels and
yes.
And then of course there's Charlie leaning over the countertop. It looks like there's some beautiful, some woodwork. I mean, some
windows
and.
Yeah, that doesn't look like the Vaughn building at all.
No, it doesn't. It's like you kind of look at it. It's not as wide as what you would,
Right. It's a little tiny space, isn't it?
It makes you wonder. We may have to put somebody on that and find.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much of the stuff we do, we find interesting fact. I don't even know where I found these pictures. But, yeah, how neat.
Yeah, very cool.
Continue on. It is a great misfortune that our city cannot hold out more inducements of labor at profitable wages to our young people. Industrial enterprises of every kind should be encouraged, and thereby hundreds of young people might be saved from lives of idleness. There's that other one. In 1896, Mr. Cunningham bought the entire stock and business of his father, concluding a bargain just as though he was dealing with a stranger.
Oh.
He determined to rely upon himself.
Ooh, so maybe he didn't have a good relationship with his dad?
Maybe not.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The time of his purchase was in his favor. The country was about to emerge from the dark cloud of panic and business depression. Wonder what, but he was born in, when did he pass away?
He passed away in 1934.
34. When was the depression was when?
It started it crashed in 29.
In 29.
But the years following it were horrible too.
Yeah, so we're talking. At once he began to take steps to enlarge the trade. He changed all of his small showcases for new and elegant ones, enlarged some important lines of good, and year by year, trade has been satisfactory. The good days more than overbalance the bad ones, in the view he takes of the work he has done during the past 4 years. Mr. Cunningham looks for a continuation of the present prosperous time. He favors a series of large wells. This. It seems like the other thing. It's like a lot of the people that we talk about, they're always talking about talking about waterways in Florida. Don't you feel like that? Because he does the same thing. He favors a series of large wells as the source of supply for a waterworks system. Here's one of his quotes. He says that Flora will continue to grow in a steady, healthy manner, for he considers the present boom no pop gun affair.
I wonder if these biographies that we have of these men maybe they were all running for city council or something. And that's why they are all written up so gloriously, like they're wonderful. And then at the end, they talk about what they want to do with the waterways.
Yeah, because it does
do you
seem
think
like
that? It's
I don't know.
Almost like they were running for office, like a politician or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I believe in, and this is how, read all about me here. I'm wonderful.
Right, because what I find, all these, it comes out of one book, and I don't even know, Beth, I can't even remember where I got that book from, but it breaks down, like, citizens, first superintendents, and I really like it, because it does dive into, like, past people, names that we've never heard, because, I mean, just on the other side of here is the Derland Brothers hardware store.
Yeah, we covered them in a cemetery tour.
I mean, yeah, so, I mean, that's, something we could talk about. And on the back of this next one, it's Lewis Bowden. It's just very interesting. But they do talk when they do their writings, they talk very highly of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
but he was a good guy. I think everyone liked him. Even everything I read that was other than that article, I mean, everything.
Have we come across any real scoundrels?
Yeah, we've covered a few scoundrels. Yeah, I remember the guy that killed Bible Grove. He was a scoundrel.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and the banker in Xenia.
Yeah, and the different bank guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been some bad guys. There's been some murderers.
Yeah, we do. We do like those murderers.
But there was a lot of good, upstanding citizens.
Yeah,
too,
well, I mean, because you can just walk down. Like, if you ever just like walk down Florida, just look at the buildings. Some of them still have, like, if we look at these old pictures, they're still the same beautiful designs.
Yeah,
designs that are there.
Yeah,
yeah. I love looking at the old pictures that are up there.
Me too.
So anyway,
who else are we talking about?
We are going to talk about Edwin E. Lewis.
Okay.
Now, finding Edwin was a little bit different. Like going to the Find a Grave, there was no pictures. I've got a couple pictures here. They're kind of blurry pictures, but Ty said maybe he could focus in on them. But I'll give you a little. Edwin E. Lewis. September 27th, 1861, the subject of this sketch was born in the village of Old Maysville, now called Clay City. Okay. So Edwin Lewis is a Clay City boy.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where he is. And I remember, I'll show a picture. I'm going to be jumping ahead. Basically, this man was an artist and a printer.
Okay.
That's where we're going. I'm not going to jump, because I remember his painting still being on the side of a building in Clay City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so let's talk a little bit about Edwin Lewis. Born in Maysville, now Clay City. He received his early education in the public schools of his native place and early showed a liking for painting and printing. At the age of 16, he learned to set and type, and 1 year later started the first paper ever printed in Clay City.
Oh, okay. I knew they had a paper for a little while.
Yeah, so
it was him.
Edwin Lewis is the gentleman who's starting the printing paper business in Clay City. On the 15th of November, 1880, he was married to Miss Florence Colvin, Colvin, of Clay City, and 1 year later he moved to Omaha, Nebraska, and went to work in one of the leading job printing offices of that city. So once again, it's just like, Mr. Cunningham leaves and goes to Indiana, and Mr. Lewis, him and his wife, they go to Omaha, Nebraska. Mm-hmm. I mean, I find it so interesting that so many of them are born here, then they leave and they always come back.
Right, they always come back every time.
Why is that?
Because it's great.
Because it's great. And we're going to take that with us. We love living here, too, in Clay County. Yeah.
Some people have to stay and take care of things. Some people's lives are meant to leave, and that's great, too.
And that's great, too. You do you, but yeah.
But there's some people stay, and that's okay.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a friend of mine that moved right after college, and he came back to visit and stayed in Florida for about a month. And every time we ran into each other, he's like, you know what? Sometimes I wonder, he said he doesn't regret his, he loves his life and everything, but he's like, gosh, sometimes when I come back here, it's so nostalgic. He said that it makes me wish that I would have stayed. Mm. And he asked me, he said, do you wish you would have ever left? And I said, no. Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. We'll come right back after a quick commercial break and talk about Mr. Edwin Lewis.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Florida for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Royal King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. And we are talking a little bit about a couple of entrepreneurs in Flora. We just finished up with Mr. Charles Cunningham. We're talking a little bit about Edwin E. Lewis, who is from Maysville, the Clay City area, and he is a painter and a printer. Now, Beth, at this time we're talking about how he's moved to Omaha. But he did not like the West. He concluded to return and accordingly moved his family back to Clay City. And leaving, now get this, so he comes back to Clay City, Beth, and then he leaves them there, and he went to Cincinnati, Ohio, and engaged work in large printing establishment, and from there to Newport, Kentucky, where he secured employment as a compositor on the Kentucky State Journal.
Oh.
So this man's moving and shaking.
Yeah, but he left his family behind?
He did leave his family behind to do that.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was only going to be gone for a few weeks or a few months, but it sounds like it was years.
Right. Ty, can you put that picture up of his family?
I don't have a picture of his family.
Oh, I thought you were going to try. Oh, you mean I'm going to hold my picture up and we're going to try to focus in. That's what you meant by that?
Yep.
Oh, I'm scared now. Okay, so like I said, these are kind of black and white. He was a small man. He was not a very big man. But he had his wife, he had 2 little girls and a son. We'll put this up there, but I don't know if this will focus or not, guys. I don't know. It's up this way up corner up here.
That little tiny picture.
That little tiny picture on the right side of the screen. Let's see.
We had a hard time finding good images of this guy.
Of him.
We still wanted to talk about him, but
there he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this. Yeah, you can kind of see him. He's not a very large. He's not a very big man.
Yeah, and that's his wife standing in the back.
Yes.
And then they have 3 children.
Yes. But yeah, he is to the. I think he's to the left of your screen. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ty. We'll do that again because I got a picture of his home and everything. But anyway, yeah. So he wasn't a very large. He was a small guy. In 1884, he gave up his position and moved his family to this city and took up the trade
to this city, meaning
to
Flora.
this city.
Okay, so he gave up his
job.
job.
Or is he talking about, wait, where he secured employment as a compositor on the Kentucky State Journal. In 1884, he gave up his position and moved his family to this city. Okay, so maybe he is back.
He gave up the position at the big newspaper in Kentucky. Apparently, he went off and got hired at this big newspaper
and now
printing, which was probably his dream. But yet, he had kind of abandoned his family.
Yeah, he left his family behind. Which,
so then he came.
Was that a thing? I wouldn't think they did that too much.
I'm not sure about this guy. So then now he's back. Now he's back, and he's got his family, and they're going to settle in Flora.
Now, here's where we go. So he took up the trade of house and sign painting and paper hanging. He was very successful, and plenty of work came to him, and off and on, as other work happened to be slack, he has continued to use his business. In the spring of 1887, he secured an employment as a brakeman on the Hannibal and St. Joe Railroad, with headquarters at Hannibal, but later came back and took up house painting again.
So I kind of get the feeling this guy's a little bit like Paul Ingalls. He has to jump around to make money. So
he's everywhere.
He probably traveled when money got tight. He had to go somewhere else to find a job. And that was the railroad or the newspaper or whatever.
Yeah.
But while he was here, he was sign painting, which I would think would be a pretty good business because there were so many businesses in the county at that time. There was not a meager sign and graphics.
No.
There was not anything like that. You had to actually paint a sign, and you would need somebody talented to paint your signage for your business.
And he was very talented. Thrice he has been employed upon the Southern Illinois Journal, and the last 2 as foreman of the office. Okay, so this is really interesting because now he's painting, but it says he's painting houses and he's painting signs. I'm going to pull this up again and have Ty zoom in on this, because there's a large building in Clay City at one time, and I remember this painting.
It had a mural.
It had a huge mural, and it's all sorts of businesses.
Okay,
so Ty, let's try to zoom in on that. I'm going to try to hold it still. That's his house. So, yeah, zoom in right there a little bit, to the right a little bit. Yes, so.
Oh, that does look a little familiar.
Does that not? It does look familiar, right? I remember, especially the Indian Sagwa.
Yeah.
That's in a building in Clay City. So this man had painted that. So he was literally doing murals, but they're business advertisements.
Cool.
Isn't
Let's
that neat?
look at his house, too, while that's
okay. Let's look at that. Okay, so here's his home. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Yeah, there's his home.
And that's in Flora, or was?
No, that's Clay City.
Oh, it was in Clay City.
No, they're resident. They're in Clay City.
That's a cute house with the double chimneys and the double arches in the front.
Yeah, and there she is sitting on the front porch, and there's, I would imagine, so she's sitting on the front porch, and he's standing in the doorway, and their 3 children are there on the porch.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a really cute little house. Now, I'm a Clay City girl. I don't recognize that house now. I don't know, but yeah, so they're all on the front porch. Having a grand old day.
Yeah, well, good.
Okay, so let's continue on here. In the year 1886, he opened a job printing office in Flora. Okay. But after a few months, he was persuaded to go to work upon the Flora Democrat as foreman. I'm not sure what the Florida Democrat is.
That was one of the early newspapers.
It was called the Democrat? Okay. He soon returned to his job office, where he continued to do business for himself, and in 1895 started the Flora Twice-a-Week Star till his office was destroyed by fire in December. So now he starts his own newspaper.
Started his own
newspaper. His business, and then that building was destroyed in 1895. He was insured and at once reorganized his business under the name of Edwin E. Lewis Printing Company.
Okay.
Fun? He continued the business till January 1899, when he sold out to the Record Publishing Company and went into their employ as their foreman.
Oh, so he went to work for them, but sold it to them, but stayed on as foreman.
Stayed on, yeah. Mr. Lewis is an excellent printer, and this souvenir edition of the Clay County Record is a fair specimen of his workmanship. Okay, so
this was in the paper.
Yes,
these were in the paper.
The book that I have, the book that I get all this from, is actually the souvenir edition of the Clay County Record, and so he is responsible for printing. How neat.
Okay, so now we know where they were from.
Now we know. Several years ago, when he was engaged in job printing, he added bill posting and distributing to his business. He still continued this line and owned only a set of billboards, the only set of billboards in this country.
In the country or the county?
County.
Well, good for him.
We love him because we have our own billboard.
Yeah, we're on a billboard.
So now this guy's got the only billboards in the county.
Okay, he was smart.
Yes.
He's doing good things.
He has fine positions in the city, and his circuit includes Louisville, Iola, Bible Grove, Ingraham, Sailor Springs, Clay City, Reinard, and Johnsonville. So he had Reinard and Johnsonville in Wayne County, and in Xenia. He constantly advertised for leading firms. We present herewith a picture of Mr. Lewis's billboards, also a small family. Okay, so you just saw the billboard. So that was literally, that picture we saw was one of his ginormous billboards.
Okay.
In Clay County. So he was quite the mover and the shaker, too, when Lewis was.
Yeah, he was getting some things done.
And I guess, women didn't work back then. So, when you're raising all your children. I just, like I said, just came across him and found him kind of fascinating.
Yeah,
the
interesting.
printer and the painter.
I
And
don't think about early printers, but
you don't. And then, like I said, this billboard, I remember it as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And well, like I said, and what else was I going to say about him? Yeah, and like I said, who knew? I mean, so now we know who the first billboard bringer to Clay County was.
Yeah.
Edwin Lewis.
But maybe it was more like a mural, but they called it a billboard.
Billboards, yeah. Yeah. He was an excellent painter.
Yeah, he was. It's a shame he couldn't make more money off of just sticking to painting because he's
that
really
was his
talented.
love, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a newspaper, first newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, how neat.
Very cool.
I think that those two men that we covered today are exceptional men.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Yeah.
And when you start reading about different people from the history of Clay County, you keep seeing the same names pop up, and that's how we pick. Like, oh, I saw his name again. Well, this guy keeps coming up. There's something more to him, so let's dig in deeper, and then that's how we, decide who we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Great.
So, let's end the show like normal with a rule to live by or a famous quote. What do we have?
Oh my goodness, this is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside us while we live. By Norman Cousins.
Kind of gave me chills.
That did give me chills too. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside us while we live. That's deep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's even kind of how do you even ponder that?
Yeah.
Because if you think about, if we take this on a look at the problems that people seem to have today with, not even today, years ago they had trouble, but like, when something happens and you can't deal with things and you turn to like drugs or alcohol or I was going to say prostitution. Why was I going to say prostitution?
I don't know that. I don't think that, but some people did turn to prostitution after death because they suddenly were left penniless. That was their only way of making money, I suppose.
I don't know where I came. I don't know where I got to with drugs and alcohol and prostitution. But and then like I said, so then something evil takes its place or something you can't. Yeah, that's a very
when
interesting.
Somebody dies, there's definitely a hole left inside of you. So I guess they're saying that is really the biggest loss is that you lost part of yourself.
You lost part of yourself, and then what happens when we lose part of ourselves? We don't make good choices, and we turn to other things, and
yeah,
very interesting. That was I saw that and was like, wow, that's a little bit crazy. I just been picking through these and just, I don't even know what I'm going to read. It's like random. I just kind of pick them.
Well, they've all been good so far.
Yeah. Because I think it kind of goes with a little bit of, it's almost like God just throws things in your path. You know what I mean? And then, I don't know. Maybe somebody needed to hear that today.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. You never know.
But hey, if you ever have a show idea for us or something that you think we should talk about, or if you just want to tell us that you love us,
we'll take that too.
You can always email us at bytheway@gmail.com or find us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is By the Way with Beth and Stacey, and you can like us and follow us on there and share us with your friends. And we're always on YouTube too at By the Way with Beth and Stacey. If you're not already watching us there, the rest of you are probably watching us on Channel 100 on Wabash Television. So those are the places you can find us. But
yeah. Love the show today.
Yeah,
love the shows every day we have. Every day we say that. Love the show.
Because we mean it.
We
do. We really love talking about this stuff. So we hope that you guys enjoy hearing about it. And in the meantime, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. So
we are. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
God bless you. Have a great day.